Bryan and Bobby. Ooh, Bryan and Bobby.
Oh, hi there. I've got some friends coming around later on tonight. We're going to watch a DVD. It's going to be sweet. I've baked my very first cake. It's a giant carrot cake with big, thick, sweet icing on it. Here, do you want to have a look?
Oh, no. Bobby,
Yes, Constable Bryan?
have a look at this.
Oh, Oh, wow! A fridge!
What's up?
My cake for tonight, Bobby. It's got a piece missing.
That's a bit weird, isn't it? Did the cook forget to cook that bit?
I cooked it, Bobby. It now has a big piece missing.
Where did you last see it?
In the cake, Bobby?
Oh, okay, so have you checked your pockets? Because sometimes you lose your car keys and you find they were in your pocket the whole time.
Bobby, you didn't eat my piece of cake, did you?
No, Constable Bryan, I wouldn't do that.
Are you sure you're not telling me a lie, Bobby?
Yes, Constable Bryan.
Well, I'm going to get to the bottom of this, and I've got some special friends who'll give me a hand finding out who ate that cake.
Bryan and Bobby.
We'll stay out of the kitchen, Bob, while Soccer in there trying to help us find out who ate my cake.
Oh, Constable Bryan, has somebody stolen your socks as well?
No, it's SOCO. S-O-C-O, Bobby. It stands for Scene of the Crimes Officer.
Oh.
The kitchen and the fridge is now a crime scene. This is our senior crime officer and he's come to investigate. And he's here to collect forensic evidence and discover who took that bite out of my cake.
Oh, forensic. Another new word. Let me try and guess what this means. Forensic. I know. It means you're sick of the letter N and the number 4.
Not quite, Bobby. Forensic evidence means stuff that's been left behind at the crime scene that's going to help the police find out who committed the crime.
Oh.
Good guess though, mate.
These are some of the tools needed to help collect evidence at a crime scene, like from our kitchen and fridge.
Why is Mr. Sock putting talcum powder all over the fridge?
He's a socko, Bobby, not Mr. Sock. And it's not talcum powder, it's a special type of powder that they use to find fingerprints. What he's doing is called dusting for prints, and it's usually the first step when investigating a crime scene. See, what they do is lightly dust the fridge with the powder, making sure they don't smudge them. Then if they find one like here, then they take one of these sheets of sticky plastic called a lifter tab and lift it off the fridge. You can't get fingerprints off everything, but you can get them off most smooth surfaces. Bobby, what are you doing?
I'm seeing if there's any fingerprints on your head, Constable Bryan. It's a really smooth surface.
Honestly, how is that going to help us find out who's taken a bite out of my cake?
Well, it's been on your mind a lot. Get it? It's been on your mind a lot. So, why are fingerprints so important, Constable Bryan?
Everybody's fingerprints are different, Bobby. From the day they're born until they get really, really old, their fingerprints always stay the same. Their fingers might get bigger, but the prints always stay the same.
Oh, don't you get more rings on your fingerprints as you get older, Constable Bryan? You know, like trees.
Nope, they stay exactly the same. That way the police can check their database to see who's been at a crime scene.
Fingerprints have different patterns in them. This one has loops and arches, but you can also get swirls.
Oh, are there any other ways of telling who's been somewhere?
All sorts, Bobby. There'll probably be some saliva on the cake.
Saliva?
Spit.
Woohoo!
It all helps, Bobby. Even the icing would be great for showing up fingerprints. In fact, this cake has some hairs on it. They can test these hairs back at the lab and then they'll find out who they belong to. I think we're pretty close to finding out who our thief is. Bobby, you know those hairs look an awful lot like dog hairs? This is a police forensics lab. It's a place where they can do all sorts of tests on things that they can find at crime scenes to find out who they belong to, Bobby. They'll check the hairs and the saliva they found on the cake to see whose DNA they contain.
DNA? What? Donuts and alligators?
Well, it's a little hard to explain, Bobby, but DNA is basically what makes you, you. It's like your body's own little rule book of how everything goes together, and like fingerprints, everybody's is different. DNA is contained in anything that might come off your body: hair, flakes of skin, fingernails, bodily fluids.
Bodily fluids?
Yeah, like blood, saliva, sweat.
All right, I get the picture. Blech.
And just like fingerprints, the police can take DNA, match it to some they have on record, and prove that somebody was at a crime scene. So the hair that was on the cake has gone for testing. So now I guess all we've got to do is wait for the results to come in, Bob.
Oh.
Bryan and Bobby.
So they're finished. Are you going to eat the cake now?
No, Bobby, the cake's still evidence and there's still a lot more it can tell them. What they've done is they've taken the cake to the lab so that they can make a plaster casting or a copy of the bite mark in the cake.
I know the cake's broken, but will putting it in plaster really make it better?
No, what they've done is they've made a plaster cast of the bite mark and then they'll compare it to people's records. They're called dental records.
So you can identify people by their fingerprints, their hair, nails, and gooey bits, and even their teeth.
Even their teeth. But that's not the only thing police use plaster casting for. Can you guess what this guy's doing, Bobby?
Well, he's not making mud pies. Is he doing one of those casting thingies?
He sure is, Bob. And in an outdoor crime scene like this, evidence can easily be cleared away by the weather, so you have to work really quickly to get as much as you can. He's making a copy of somebody's footprint so that they can try to match the shoe tracks to the shoes of the person that they're looking for later on.
Ah, now I see the problem here. People can't change their fingerprints, skin or teeth. But what if the person you're looking for just changes their shoes?
Well, that's very likely, but that's the job of the forensics officer, to collect as much evidence as they can at the scene of the crime. That way it helps the police prove and discover who committed the crime. So I guess, just like my cake, we'll soon get to the bottom of this mystery, Bob.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Remember, soccos are the scene of the crime officers. They use forensic science at a crime scene to collect evidence that's often unable to be seen by the human eye. This helps the police to solve crimes.
I didn't realise there were so many different ways of getting evidence at a crime scene, Constable Bryan.
Well, fortunately, not many criminals do either, Bobby. In fact, it's just about impossible to commit a crime and not leave some type of identification behind at the crime scene.
Oh, like fingerprints.
Or DNA, or blood, or saliva. In fact, if somebody breaks a window to get into a house, there's even a way of matching the bits of glass from the window they've just broken to the bits of glass that are on their clothing.
Wow, that's amazing.
Are you sure there's nothing you want to tell me, Bob?
No.
Hello? Yep, you got the lab test back? Dog teeth marks in the cake. Paw marks in the icing. Dog saliva everywhere. And the DNA testing? Okay. Cheers, thanks. Bye-bye.
What did they say, Constable Bryan?
Well, they said that the hair that we took from the cake doesn't match yours.
I told you I wasn't lying, Constable Bryan.
Well, who took the bite out of my cake then?
Hey, it must have been Bruce, the Jack Russell from next door. You know, the naughty one that's always slipping under the fence. He must have come in when we weren't looking.
Look, Bobby, I'm really sorry I suspected you, but I'm really glad forensics helped us find out the truth.
That's okay, Constable Bryan. I learnt heaps. But I really couldn't have eaten your cake, Constable Bryan.
What's that?
Well, I probably should have told you earlier. I'm allergic to carrots.
Yeah, see you next time.
See you later.
Good work. Why didn't you tell me you were allergic to carrots before?
Oh, yeah, I just remembered.
For more information about this program and some fun things to do, visit us at www.bryanandbobby.co.nz. Make sure it's Bryan with a Y.
So I finished. Are you going to eat the cake now?
Yeah.
Are you going to eat the cake now?
No, Bobby. It's the cake's still evidence. What they've done is they've taken it back to the lab and they're going to take a plastic... You're beautiful, eh?
Bryan and Bobby, brought to you in association with Blue Light Ventures and Trillium Trust.